Hey, welcome to Old Ass Movie Reviews. I'm Scott. There's Dave over here next to me. And boy, we got a treat right out of the 80s for you. Helen Slater as Supergirl.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun.
she had a weird flying pose. Tell us what you thought of Supergirl, Dave.
Uh, I really wanted to like this a lot more than I did. It was rough. This was a rough watch for me.
Really?
It really was, and I'll tell you why. Because I was expecting to like it. I think is what part of my problem was. I was actually expecting a good show. Um, as I watched it, the first half of it, I finally just said, I can't. Wow, this is crazy. I have to go watch something else. I turned it off. I finished it off last night. And as I was watching it last night, I sat there and I was like, this has got all the makings of a really good movie. I mean, Helen
She was
Slater,
good.
right? Yeah,
Helen Slater, yeah.
looked like Supergirl. Blonde hair, blue eyes, red cape, red little mini skirt
Yeah,
thing.
had the outfit.
Boots,
Yeah.
She looked like, I mean, son of a bitch. She looked like Supergirl stepped out of the comic books. They could not have cast that part better. For the crappy script she had, she did a good job.
Yeah.
She really did. Everybody did. I mean, Faye Dunaway as the main villain with absolutely no, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? No drive, no ambition, no motivation. There was no motivation. When you first get introduced to Faye Dunaway's character, Selena, she's just on a beach or on a lakeside having a lunch with her boyfriend or
Let,
one of her
let,
suitors. Go ahead.
let's talk about Nigel and Serena or Selena or whatever
Selena.
her name is. This, right off the bat, our villains of the movie are introduced, and they are witches.
Yeah.
Now, let's put this in context. This is the 80s. This
Yeah.
is satanic panic era.
Right.
Oh my God, it's horrible. So
Yeah.
that's supposed to be scary. I look at this and I laugh now. And what I felt, tell me if you felt this. I felt like I was
You
watching
know I felt it. You know my religion believes.
No, I'm talking about this is where I'm going with this. When I saw that now, that's what
Yeah.
looking through it now and saying, witches? I felt like I was watching an episode of the Dukes of Hazzard, and these witches showed up in Hazard County, and the Duke boys, I'm sorry, Supergirl had to take care of it. It was
Yeah.
the villain of the week that you saw in the Hulk, Wonder
Yeah.
Woman,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, this is cheesy as fuck. And
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get this out there. I actually really dig this movie. So
I was gonna finish after my little
Yeah.
tirade. As I watched it, as I finally got to the end of the movie, I honestly I do have a soft spot in my heart for this movie. I think I texted you
yeah,
about if I had a daughter, if I had a little kid, or if I remember watching my great, nieces and nephews, because they're all little girls. Most of them are little girls. I sit them down in front of this movie and be like, Supergirl.
Yeah.
And they will love this movie. Supergirl's flying. She's the hero. She's fighting. She's doing all the hero girl stuff that shows a powerful woman in a really bad story. But they're going to be so young, they're not going to notice the bad storytelling.
They won't.
They
Kids
won't.
will miss this.
They will see this as a Supergirl movie. And that's what I started looking at it like, okay, this isn't for me, obviously, because the story fell apart. And I found out why.
Oh, please do tell.
As I was watching some specials last night, because I was like, I got to find out. There's somebody out there's got to know why this was such a bad movie. Now, I had heard several times before that this was supposed to be Superman 4. Because of actually, I always thought it was supposed to be Superman 3, but last night, a couple of guys were saying it was supposed to be Superman 4.
Huh.
My understanding was it was supposed to be Superman 3, and then Christopher Reeve's ego got a hold of him and wanted the bigger star, and that's how they got Richard Pryor and that piece of garbage of a Superman movie that they made.
Yeah.
Now, God bless Richard Pryor for going in there and going, I'll take that money.
Oh,
Hell yes,
yeah.
I will take that money. even Reeve for going, yes, I will have a bigger payday. You know, I got paid shit for 2 movies in a row that were some of the biggest movies ever made.
Hmm.
Yes, give me a bigger payday.
And
I
still,
get that to an
yeah.
extent. This movie without Superman is what ruined it. And it's because they used the same damn script and just pulled Superman out. If
Oh,
you
wow.
noticed, she knows everything there is to know about. She knows who Clark Kent is. She knows who Superman is. How would she possibly know that? She's in a inner space on Argo City with there's no way for her to know that.
There's a lot of problems with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is so much with it. She knows all about Earth.
Yeah.
Zaz, what
Zoltar. Zoltar, her uncle. I think it was
Zoltar, her uncle. He knew all about Earth, but they made it seem like he was just pulling the shit out of his head.
Yeah.
And there was stuff that just didn't make sense with that. My biggest problem with this is her city, all her people are about to die, and she's going to school.
Thank you. But there again, I think this was all part of the original script. Like, I think Superman was supposed to probably find her or help her, and she realizes, oh, this is and he must have explained to her, like, don't worry about the time lapse. There's no time. You know, with this rock thing, whatever, you're gonna be able to go back the minute you left, kind of thing. You know, so don't worry about that. We just got to figure out where it's at. We can take our time finding it.
Yeah.
And I think that was part of the script because that's what it seems like was missing was who's calming her down.
Well, they made a point right off the bat when Faye Dunaway stole the car on the radio. It said
Right.
Superman had left the galaxy or something like that.
Yeah,
Like, what?
he was on another planet for a peaceful mission or a mission of peace.
Yeah. It's like, okay, that was convenient.
Yeah. Oh, so much. But the reason this movie was drab is instead of rewriting it and making it logical, where you didn't need Superman, and really, if you think about it, this is the first expanded universe of,
Yeah.
of superhero movies. Because she knew who Superman was. Superman was supposed to have known who she was. Somehow she knew they were cousins. I don't know how the hell she knew that. Again, there's a lot of holes in the script for a guy like me watching it, or a guy like you, or anyone out there, man, woman, female, dog, cat, whatever, watching this movie, is probably scratching their head going, how did she know who Superman was? And she's got the costume, so she's got the costume by the time she lands, but that was kind of conveniently thrown in as she was sitting on it. So they never showed her getting changed, but there you are. I want to know, because they didn't show Selena having any kind of power, any real power, until she gets that rock. And something in that rock talks to her or communicates somehow with her. Why is it communicating with her? Didn't communicate with Zoltar. Didn't communicate with anybody else on Argo City. Yeah. Didn't communicate with Supergirl when she had it. But it communicated with the human that it should have probably disintegrated as soon as she touched it.
That was weird. I did like the idea that here was a device that was designed to create whatever you wanted.
Right.
And all she chose was shadows and monsters and she was evil, and it showed it. It's like, that's actually pretty cool. In fact, I really liked the demon at the end.
Oh, the demon at the end was really cool looking. I was
really
like, cool. Oh, finally, now we finally see a monster.
Yes.
Not to tear this apart too much, because like I said, by the time I finished the movie, I was like you said, we've seen worse. We've seen a lot worse. Oh my,
yes.
If you got a little kid that loves superhero movies, they probably like this movie. A little kid would probably really like this movie. And if you are a diehard Superman fan and you're like, I've seen everything, I've never seen this movie, you won't miss it if you don't watch it. But I would say go ahead and watch it.
Yeah.
But take it for what it is. It's a campy story.
Oh my God.
It's a poorly told story, really.
Yeah.
It's a poorly told story. I'm sorry, the doctor was calling, and I just
that's fine. No, that's just it. It does have some plot holes, some issues with it. One of the things that I've started to do, because ever since we started this podcast, I I never really watched a lot of movies. I'd take in maybe one a month or something.
Right,
And now to
right.
do one or two a week and record and talk about it,
Yeah,
a lot has changed on the way I look at things.
yeah, yeah. I would agree
And
with that.
at this point now, my number one criteria for a movie to be good or bad is, am I entertained? Did I enjoy it? Did I want to shut it off and walk away? If I wanted to shut it off and walk away, then it's like, okay, not so good. But if it's see, this kept me more entertained than The Wiz. So
Yeah, I could see. Yeah, yeah, I could see that. I could.
I never
Yeah.
looked at my clock to see when this was done. Now, part of this, I thank you, because when you told me you had to take a break, it's like, oh, fuck, I'm in for a stinker. I
Mhm.
don't know. I don't even want to fucking watch this now.
Right.
And then that set my expectations really low. And it's like, yeah, it's not bad.
See, and I had heard that this was a bad movie,
hmm
but I didn't realize what anybody meant by it. And so when I went in, I'm like, well, the costume looks good. It's kind of a weird, funky start, but okay.
The effects were
But,
not bad for 83 or whenever this was.
but they just kept going to the story is what kills this movie.
It is.
The in-camera effects are fantastic.
Dude, there's some great work with miniatures, and some of the effects they've done has been really, really freaking cool.
I'm trying to think, my
So, but yeah, that's one of
oh,
the
sorry.
cars when that Shadow Beast was chasing after her, seeing the cars crush. I thought those were really
Right.
cool effects.
Right.
Even the vortex at the end in the Phantom Zone was pretty cool.
The vortex. They had to have done that like with, I'm guessing, with an oil, like in a spinner or something. I have no idea how they did it. It was really a cool effect though.
When she was traveling to Earth,
Right.
they were doing a lot of cool stuff with liquids and colors and light,
Yeah.
because you could
And
see.
that was
and
really
it's like
that
that was a
kick-ass.
neat way to do it. Today, I'd sit here on this computer right here and just create it and go
Right.
from there. But that was
Back
some
then,
cool effects that they pulled off in this.
the invisible beast, the invisible monster, for
You know
whatever.
what? And did you think of the Forbidden Planet?
Yes, I did. That was the first
I
thing
did
I
too.
thought of. Whenever she's got the lightning rod.
The
and
electrical is like, I've seen this.
yeah, I know where you guys got that idea from. But it was neat because you could see the footsteps, just like in Forbidden Planet. The footsteps
Yes.
are coming. The car's getting crushed, and it's getting crushed in real time. You know, it's like
really cool.
it was really neat how they did it. They had a lot of really ingenious things going on here. I think the biggest problem with this movie were the two Salkinds, the father and son. They did the same thing with the first Superman movie, that Donner literally kicked them off the set. He wouldn't
Really?
let them on set. And whenever he started doing the second Superman movie, because I guess they filmed them back to back, he wasn't going to let them on set, but he was having so much trouble with them. He's like, fuck it, I'll go finish this last movie. He had already filmed 75% of the second Superman movie.
hmm
And when he was done filming and putting shit together on the first one, he said, I'm done, bye. That's how annoying and bad these guys are. They were great money men. Evidently, they could.
So we
get
have
money
Donner to thank for
Yeah.
the first two being
for
good
the
films.
first two being so good. You got these two guys who can get money to make a movie for whatever reason.
Yeah.
People liked them, gave them money. They knew how to produce a movie. They were not idea men. They were not creatives. And this movie shows that. This movie is what you get when you have a money man thinking he's an idea man too. This is what you get had George Lucas, I would think, would dare to say, would be left alone with his idea without Marsha Lucas.
Yes.
I honestly think that. Like, I was watching this last night thinking,
Oh my God.
oh my
that's great.
Lord, where was Marsha Lucas for this movie? She could have saved this movie.
Dude, anybody who has read any books or can just read and follow a story could
Right.
have read this screenplay and said, we got problems.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems with the screenplay.
And
Again,
it wouldn't take much to fix.
let me go through. Do you mind if I go through some notes? You said, did you
Please.
take notes?
I didn't take notes.
Okay,
I didn't
I'll
take
try and
notes,
make
other than
this
I kept
really
expecting
fast,
Roscoe P. Coltrane and Uncle Jesse to show up.
Roscoe.
That's what it felt like. I was like,
Supergirl.
damn, I'm back in the 70s here.
Yeah. There's that Supergirl. She's flying through a wall. What's going to happen next? Um, Speaking of flying through a wall, why was she on the floor as lava? Why didn't she just
Thank
fucking
you.
fly?
I was screaming, "Fly, bitch!" Wait, that's ludicrous. Move, bitch. No, okay.
We'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Peter O'Toole was her uncle Zoltar. This guy's a notorious womanizer, drunk, party animal,
Dude, he just
fantastic
chews up the fucking
actor.
scenery, though, man.
Oh my God! When he or Faye Dunaway are on screen, forget about it. Faye Dunaway had the worst fucking script that they could have given a
She
woman
gave-
of her caliber.
I know, right?
Just like I would have looked at that, and I'm not a diva by any means, but and I'm a nobody. And it's somebody handed me that script, I would have went, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
How much you paying me is what I would say.
But Faye Dunaway, she did a dynamite job. Peter O'Toole, if you're a Peter O'Toole fan, watch this movie just for him. He has like a little bit in the beginning, a little bit towards the end. He shows up again. He like you said, he just chews up the script.
I'll watch anything with him.
He's like just gnawing on the scenery. Arr, arr, arr,
Yeah,
arr.
it's just
And
there's something about when you talk about that. That's one of the things I was noticing last night is his performance is so natural,
yeah,
and it's just like he's so charismatic and has such energy. In the same way with Faye, it's like I believe you. Yeah, sure.
it's like whenever he's got the magic ball in the very beginning, he sets it down because he's going to get in trouble if he's caught with it, and he kicks it towards his niece, like back kicks it towards her while she's sitting there. It rolls into her, hits her in the butt, and she picks it up and looks at it, and she catches on right away. I can't let anybody see this because he'll get in trouble. So she's got the ball, and then somehow she loses it. I forgot how she loses
She
it.
fucks around and makes something because he was showing her how you can make whatever's in your head,
right?
Or whatever.
And it flies off into space, and that's what the whole
rips a hole in the
about.
city, and it's like, what? Really? You have this place that's being protected by Viz Queen? Okay. Right.
Yeah. Well, think maybe Durasteel, Flexus Steel or whatever the hell it was.
It was Argo City was pretty cool to see, though. You know,
I would have liked to have seen it in Superman's Fortress of Solitude, is where they should have had it. But that's a little thing. That's something that could have been fixed in a rewrite. My first note was I have no idea what was happening, and that pretty much lasted all the way through to the end of the movie. But like I said, if I had a kid, or if I'm ever blessed with watching a bunch of my little great nieces and great
You're
nephews,
putting it on.
I'm putting this on, and I'm going to sit there and watch it with them and say how cool this movie is, because little kids need good, wholesome movies, really.
They do.
The costumes were great. Her Supergirl costume was nailed. Peter O'Toole, supposed to be the space guy, wearing a fucking pullover sweater. He just didn't give it any fucks. I want to be comfortable while I'm drinking my whiskey.
He was comfortable in the Phantom Zone too. Squirt, squirt.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, and the kid. You want some?
No explanation to any of that. How he's alive. And let me. I know you got notes, but this.
No, go ahead.
Is time moving differently in the Phantom Zone?
Yes.
Okay, because he's been there forever, and he's only been there like 2 days.
Yeah. If I remember from the comics, time it's almost like being in purgatory where no time passes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do like how she ended up in the little flat prison like Zod, and then
that's supposed to be the Phantom Zone. I'd like to know how. Speaking of that, I think that might be one of my notes. How did Selena even find out about the Phantom Zone? How did she get it moved? How did she get her to the Phantom Zone?
There's so many problems
with that. How did she get
that.
out of the Phantom Zone? Because you're not supposed to be able to get out of the Phantom Zone unless something like a nuclear holocaust happens and one of your portals happens to be right by it while something's exploding.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to my notes.
Yes.
Why would you still, this is when the truckers are messing with Supergirl. Why would you still mess with her after she picks your friend up by his jaw
Thank you.
and throws him through a wall? Just asking for a friend.
Yeah.
And you're my friend because you're the only guy
I
that I
don't know.
talk
I
to.
was saying the same thing. Seriously?
Yeah,
I know you're stupid, but did you just see what she did?
yeah, exactly. I like it's Linda Lee and Lois Lane's sister,
Yeah, Lucy.
Lucy Lane.
Yeah.
Everybody's LL. They did that a lot back in the Detective Comics old school days. Everybody
Interesting.
always had two Clark Kent. There was always a CC or a KK or there's always like that sound
Interesting.
for the
Yeah.
names. Um,
Yeah, Jimmy Olsen makes an appearance.
yeah, Jimmy Olsen. He's the only one that has two different letters for his name.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, the original Jimmy Olsen from the first two movies. You're right. I don't know if I wrote that down. I should have. Um, Again, my notes are like, how does she know Clark Kent? How does she know who he is, where he is, that they're related? Then none of that's really explained in the script.
It's not. I just assumed somehow they were in communication with Kal-El or yeah,
How did you like the product placement?
which product placement.
Fucking any of them, man. Take your pick. How much sponsorship could you possibly fit into one movie?
Other than Ford
STP,
Mustangs?
A&W, Ford,
Oh, Popeyes. Popeyes chicken.
Tylenol, Popeyes.
Yes. I
These
mean, it was
guys,
just how many times we're going to show it. Hey, that's how they raise the money.
these guys did not goof around when it came to selling out, man. No,
No,
no
man.
joke.
I was like, wow,
Uh,
that actually says Popeyes. Holy fuck.
I actually did like how Lucy Lane, Lois Lane's sister, because she was in the comics at the time. She's her roommate, and she's just as spunky as Lois Lane, which I
Yeah.
thought was kind of cool. Um, yeah, I've already talked about the invisible monster, the in camera effects. I'm still amazed at some of those in camera
Yeah, it
effects.
was really good.
There's the flying is really good for her.
It is.
The
It
flying,
is.
they did a really good
Her
job.
pose
I
is a
would say
little
it's
weird.
almost, huh?
Her pose is a little weird.
Yeah, with the
Oh, and then
fist in the back and the
I'm a
yeah.
plane,
I mean,
bitches. I'm a plane.
look, I'm flying, flapping my arms.
Yeah, unfortunately, dude, when she comes out of the water, I swear up and down I saw the wires.
You probably did,
Yeah, it was like,
but
oh
the
shit.
wire work gets really bad in Superman 4.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
they ran out of money and budget then. Uh, anyway, uh, my question still remains, how did Supergirl get sent to the Phantom Zone when Selena should not have known anything about the Phantom Zone? Shouldn't have known how, even if that demon is telling her this Phantom Zone thing exists. Where was the demon? What zone was it in? And how did it know about the Phantom Zone? Is it in the Phantom Zone? Is it trying to get out of the Phantom Zone? There were questions, folks, is all I'm saying. There are questions in this series.
These are some weak ass villains that should not have been able to even be a threat.
Right,
Period.
right. I was
And
waiting for
that's
somebody to start shooting at her. I was waiting for them. Like, somebody pull a gun on this girl and shoot at her. I want to see the bullets bounce off just like Superman. That would have didn't happen.
no, and that's what makes it really campy when you see that she is taking over the world in each concentric circle. Doom, doom, doom. And they
Yeah.
have the townspeople are out protesting against her like she's some dictator because there's a big castle in the middle of town. What the fuck? I mean, seriously, I have some crazy ass ideas, but this is fucking nuts. And I guess I like it.
Yeah, I liked it. Supergirl, when she's with Zoltar in the Phantom Zone, I like how he's like, just give up, just give up. And she takes the bottle of wine. She's like, yeah, I guess I'll just give up. No sense in actually fighting and, trying to improve myself. And she takes a bottle of wine and she's like, she's getting ready to squirt some wine in her mouth. And she stops and she just gives a side eye to Zoltar like, are you going to stop me? Like, nothing said, but she's looking at him and she stops. And that had to be like a 10-second stop, which was perfect. It was timed perfectly because when they cut to Peter O'Toole, he's just staring at her for a second like, okay, we'll do it. We'll stop. Come on. But her character, she had more character development in 5 minutes than Ray did in 3 fucking movies.
So you're
Zoltar
talking about
spoke.
Supergirl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Supergirl had more character development in that 5 minutes of movie
Yeah.
time than Ray in 3 movies from Star Wars, as learning and trying to figure things out and on why she is Supergirl. Because up to that point, she just had the costume on just because. Not sure why, but she just had the costume on. After talking to her uncle and having that happen in the Phantom Zone, she has a reason. She's like,
Yeah.
oh, there's a bigger reason than me. There's a bigger reason than just wearing this costume.
Yeah.
There's people actually counting on me. Like you said, she forgot about Argo. She's like, oh yeah, there's
Oops.
there's shit that needs to be done. Which is, and I thought of that last night. I'm like, just in that few minutes, it explains her character really good.
There are some good points.
Sooner. It should have been a lot sooner.
Yeah, a lot
but
sooner.
it was well done.
And let me hold you there, because this
Okay.
is one of the things when you had said that it felt like Superman should have been there. And this is one of those reasons why he should have been there.
Exactly.
I would have expected him to be there when she came out of the lake, because he would have heard her. He would have sensed her.
Yeah. Or, because they know everything about him already. Beep, 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 beep. Hey, Superman, your cousin's
She's on her way.
coming. Get to the lake right away. I don't know, something. I brought it up. Star Wars, I'll say it again. That's not how the Phantom Zone works. I did bring up Star Wars with Ray, but I'm going to say the Phantom Zone doesn't work with the magic thing, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Even in the 60s and 50s, I read a lot of old Superman comics, a lot of bad comics. Trust me. This movie was as bad as some of the old Superman comics.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
The artwork's, I think his name is Swan. I want to say Art Swan, but I'm not sure if that's the first name or not. Did beautiful artwork. This guy's artwork was gorgeous. Stories were terrible. Honestly, they were. Howard Jones did some of the music in this.
Oh yeah, there's some good 80s tunes in here.
Yeah, he did a song in this. There are so many, like I said, there's so many plot holes. It should have been better. They should have taken an extra week to do a rewrite or 5.
Yeah.
Reeves not being in this movie, I think really hurt it. Excuse me.
I do appreciate they showed a poster of him.
Yeah, that was something.
That was
anyway.
cool. Yeah.
The fact that this movie had so many problems. Did you know the town? What did you think of the town that they were in? Do you know where that town was at?
Well, it was supposed to be outside of Chicago.
Do you know where they filmed it at?
No.
That town was filmed in England. It was built outside of Shepherd Studios in, I want to say Oxfordshire, but
you know how much money they could have saved by not building a fucking town and actually filming in a small Midwestern town?
But when you look at that town, it looks like a small Midwestern town. How many towns have you driven through on road
It looked like
trips?
Smallville to me.
It looked just like that.
Yeah.
So I was really impressed. I was like, damn, that's a really nice Midwestern town that you guys could have
filmed in.
Out Western town.
Because they exist. Which saved you some money.
Build the model of the mountain, because you know what's out west? Mountains.
Could have easily been done. Yeah.
But for whatever reason, they built it, and I was actually really impressed when I found out that was a built town, because it honestly looked like a real town. I was wondering where the hell did that
it did, except when the bulldozer thingy went out, it easily took down whole walls that you could see were the way they come apart.
Really?
It looked to me as like, oh man, they're on a set.
Well, that's a terrible scene. That's just, nobody was helping that guy get out of that bulldozer.
No, when he was walking in the street, they're like, some crazy guy.
He's a heroin addict. Wait, what? Heroin addict in Smallville?
Yeah.
When?
Wow. Yeah.
But like I said, by the time this movie ended, I have almost a begrudging fondness for it. I see the potential there. I really do. I see what they should have done, or what somebody was trying to do. and it doesn't come out. If you're an adult watching this for uh, an adult type movie, and you're like, oh, this is going to be Superman 1 and Superman 2. No, it's not. It's going to be more like the Batman series from the 60s.
Yes. And those vibes are all over this, and I appreciated that. It's like, you
That's
know
what you
what?
have. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
No, go
interrupt.
ahead.
I was just going to say, had I gone into this movie thinking that, I probably would have enjoyed it a lot more.
Yeah,
You
so
know?
that is a good recommendation. I'll give my thoughts on this.
Sure.
I really had a lot of fun with this movie, and I think it's because my expectations were so low that I thought this
You're
was going to be
welcome.
one of the worst things ever, and it
Right,
turned out,
right,
you know what, this is fun, and I'm watching it. I mentioned earlier I got the '70s vibes, the '80s
right.
vibes, the Dukes of Hazzard, Wonder Woman, Hulk.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when you had just said, what the hell did you just say?
Batman 66. You don't ever listen to me. That's
What'd you
fine.
say?
You're,
Batman. Yeah. I felt like it was the camp, dude. It just like went, whoa, hey, just like sometimes
well,
my brain is like the plot of this movie,
yeah,
but
lots
it's
of holes.
lots of holes, like Swiss cheese. But Batman '66, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, had I gone into that with that in my head, I probably would have enjoyed this movie even more. But like I said, by the time I got to the end of the movie last night, I was like, that wasn't horrible. I mean, it's horrible, but it's
but it's
horrible
entertaining.
enjoy. Like if you're a little kid, or if you go into this movie, look at it like a little kid would look at this movie.
Yeah,
Is all I can say.
leave your expectations at the door.
I think Slater got shafted
I
with
agree.
this. I mean, this should have been her. She should have had 3 Supergirl movies. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
Should have. If there was a universe where somebody went in, got rid of the Sulkines, kept them off stage again, and rewrote this movie, and I'm confident that there's a universe where Helen Slater got 3 Supergirl movies, all really good, out there.
I thought she was an excellent casting choice.
Yeah, she really was.
Absolutely.
She really was. And I don't think they've done as good a job casting the new Supergirl. They did an okay job. Don't get me wrong.
What, on
She,
TV?
yeah, on TV, she looked good.
I really liked her, Melissa. I can't think of her
Yeah,
name.
she looked good. She was a good Supergirl for the first season, and then what we were
That's a whole
talking about
nother issue.
earlier.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
you
oh,
go.
yeah. That's why, and that's why I
Yeah,
stopped watching because
yeah.
everything was very
I think that's
forced and
why
very
everybody
heavy-handed.
stopped watching it.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, regardless, I
But
get my
then,
Superman fix from Superman and Lois.
right?
Excellent series that I highly fucking recommend to everybody. So
Rumor is, okay, real quick before I give my final thoughts on this, which I basically already given, I'm just going to reiterate, but I like to talk. Rumor is, after getting rid of the Batgirl movie, for what I've read, seemed to be good reasons. It did not review well.
yeah,
I'm just going to go with, when you
we'll
hire,
just leave it at that.
when you get people to come in to watch a movie that you know are geeks that should be liking your movie and telling you what they like about it, are coming out of the movie going, "Oh my God, what did I just watch?" That's a bad sign. I'm going to take their word on it and say that's why they shelved
Right.
it. Just a bad movie for whatever reason. Now, good news. I've heard that Godot, Cavill, and Affleck, are being brought into the herd again.
Yes.
Like, no, you guys come on back. Come on back. We're not going to tell anybody what you're doing, but come on back. Now I'm just waiting to see what Zack Snyder starts posting on Vero. I'm on Vero, so if anybody's interested, Buster_Crash, you'll find me. But if he starts posting a lot of stuff that seems movie, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman oriented, you'll know it. Because, like I said, I'm not a huge, oh my God, Zack Snyder can do no wrong. But he got me on that last effing scene.
Yeah.
He got me on
Yeah.
that last effing scene with
Yeah.
Darkseid crushing the skull and the thing shutting up. And then you see the alternate timeline with Batman and the others walking through the desert. It's like, I want to see the next movie. What do you mean you fired him?
You know, and after seeing that last scene in that alternate timeline, I actually thought Jared Leto was a good Joker.
Yes, yes.
So
Exactly. Like, as far as I know, that's nothing like he played the Joker.
no, it's not. It's
And
not,
I'm like,
'cause
looking at this
I've
guy
seen
going,
that Suicide Squad, and it ain't good.
I was like, I've never watched the first one. I can't bring myself to do it for obvious reasons. But the second one I watched, and I was like, okay. I think we talked
Yeah.
about that a little bit.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, Suicide Squad, I guess.
Hmm.
I think they needed to put what's her name in that black leather and red leather outfit more.
Yeah.
That was the outfit she should have been in through the whole movie.
I'm with you. No prostitute Harley.
Yeah, and I don't like Prostitute Harley. I don't like the design of Prostitute Harley. I think that girl played a pretty good Harley, but I think her face should have been a
Margot
lot
Robbie's
wider.
great. Yeah.
Yeah, the little weird shit floating around her when she's killing all those guys, that should have been every time she killed somebody. It should have been just little flowers and
Hey,
butterflies.
unpopular opinion. I would
Sure.
love to see Rob Zombie take on Harley Quinn and cast Sherry Zombie.
Not unpopular with me. After watching a Night of a Thousand, what was that? What did
House
we
of a
watch?
Thousand Corpses.
House of a Thousand Corpses. I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Yeah, but if you go online, the hate for Rob and his wife is insane. So yes, I would definitely.
Man loves his wife. Fuck you,
yeah.
people. If you don't like a happily married couple, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I know they can get really annoying. We've all met those couples that were just like, why are you guys wearing the exact same sweater every day? You know, I get that. I get it. They're annoying. We've all been there, Scott.
Yes. Anyway, so yay or nay on Supergirl?
Yeah, I would say watch
I'm
it.
there too.
With my caveats that have already been spoken. But yeah, now I want to go and watch another Helen Slater movie.
Yes. So we do have that coming up, hopefully next week. More Helen Slater, but it's definitely in the future. Be on the lookout. And we will catch you next week. And thanks again for joining us. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe. If you stuck with us this long, God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching.
And
your very busy day, and we appreciate it.
Catch you next week.